This is a demonstration of what a queue might look like with a side panel. Currently, queues support drawers and updating a page include. The limitations there are that when you have a drawer, navigating any type of item list like a table or a queue with a drawer is quite cumbersome, especially when there's a lot of information that needs to be displayed within the drawer. Um, and secondly, when you update an include panel, the problem with an include page is, and it's talked about in the community, is model merges and the inability or difficulty, I should say, in communicating between the parent page and the included page when model changes occur to make sure that a user doesn't navigate away from an item without saving their changes or canceling their changes, those types of things. So to blend the best of both those worlds, the ability to update a targeted area of the screen with a set of components, a la a side panel, or really it could be anywhere on the screen. So you can see here when I click from account to account, the field editor changes with the information for that account. Behind the scenes, this is actually each row in the queue gets its own instance of a field editor, and the reason for that is if I go in here and actually put in some account information, for example, a phone number here, and then down here I'll actually put the city, and then click Save the Changes. You can see that one thing right away is that the errors have been customized so that it's actually more meaningful to the user what record or row is actually an error. Here it's the test account with contact and account 555, and then with that summary you can then go into the individual rows and actually see that which fields are actually an error using inline errors. So because it's a second instance of the field editor and not the same instance just redrawn, you actually maintain the errors at the field level for when the user actually goes and navigates to that particular row item or queue item. You can also see the queues updated with an exclamation point to designate that that row in particular is an error, to draw the user's attention that that's where they need to go fix the problems. The other thing that is added to this queue is global actions and row actions. So here you can see this would be the equivalent of a row action where I can actually delete an account, for example. You can see that it's designated in red to show that it's marked for deletion, and then the icon has changed so you can actually unmark for deletion. So that would be a row action. And then a global action to add a new account, for example, you would click the add icon there, and then it would bring in a new row, and you could go ahead and add your new account. So you also notice that the queue is actually updating and responding to model events, which the current queue doesn't do. So these are just some of the common use cases that I have, at least in my particular situation, where we need a list of data, and because there's so many fields related to that list item that need to be edited, the navigating a drawer structure and quickly finding something is quite difficult. So the ability to update a panel, if you will, with a set of components that can be specifically tied to the queue item, and then the ability at one time to save multiple row edits with a save button at the top, would be an ideal solution.